like reviews. B-movie like reviews. B-movie like reviews.
Hey, this is B-Movie Mike, and this week in honor of the Super Bowl, I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite movies about football. That movie would be 1979's North Dallas 40. North Dallas 40 is based on the book North Dallas 40, written by Peter Gent, who was a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys during the 60s and 70s. North Dallas 40 was directed by Ted Kotcheff. Some of Ted's other directorial efforts include First Blood and Uncommon Valor. North Dallas 40 stars Nick Nolte, who's also starred in The Deep, 48 Hours, and Tropic Thunder. Mac Davis, who was a popular country music singer at the time who was branching out into acting. He was featured in another film. It was a starring role for him, and it was a movie based on one of his hit songs called Cheaper to Keep Her. G.D. Spradlin, who's also appeared in the films Tank and Apocalypse Now. Charles Durning, who has also appeared in such films as When a Stranger Calls and Dog Day Afternoon. Dabney Coleman, who's also appeared in the films 9 to 5 and War Games. Bo Svenson, who played Buford Pusser in the Walking Tall series, and he was also featured in the original Inglourious Bastards. John Matuszak, who at the time was playing defensive end for the Oakland Raiders, but he would later go on to appear alongside Ringo Starr in the film Caveman. And believe it or not, he would appear in the Steven Spielberg film The Goonies as the character Sloth. The story of North Dallas 40 is about an aging wide receiver who plays for a professional football team in Dallas, Texas. He's beat up and scarred from a long career, but what really bothers him is the attitude of the owner, general manager, and the head coach. See, to him it's just a game, but to them it's a business. He just wants to go out there and have fun and win games with his friends, but they want to micromanage every little aspect of the game to the point where it really gets on his nerves. But he's addicted to the rush of catching touchdowns, and he really doesn't know what to do with himself outside of the game of football. But that changes after he meets a beautiful woman at a party, and she shows him that there is a life worth living outside of the game. And this serves to increase his dissatisfaction with the politics and the greed that surround him. North Dallas 40 is a no-holds-barred look at the game of pro football in the 1970s. We get to see the wild parties, the shenanigans in the locker room, the politics, and the private lives of these players. North Dallas 40 is somewhat of a controversial film for the way it portrays owners, general managers, and coaches as being iron-fisted tyrants that don't really care about the health of their players. And the players themselves are portrayed as victims who are forced to play hurt if they want to play at all. Of course, the hierarchy of the NFL just writes off the events portrayed in this movie and the book it's based on as a mere fantasy of a former disgruntled player. If that's true, then why is former Dallas Cowboy running back Tony Dorsett currently leading a group of 20 other former football players in litigation against the NFL for the very same things that are depicted in this film? North Dallas 40 is very well written. It's not too dramatic, but it's pretty deep. It's got great humor and some pretty excellent dialogue. This film is very well directed, it's very smooth, and the pacing is really good. The acting overall is very good, it's intense and believable. And the camera work is very good too, it never gets in the way, and there's some really cool shots and angles in this film. In my opinion, North Dallas 40 is an awesome film, and one of my favorite sports-themed movies of all time. So if you're a fan of pro football or just a sports film enthusiast, I can highly recommend that you check out North Dallas 40. Well, this concludes my review of North Dallas 40. Please check out all the awesome YouTube channels located down there in my More Channels of Movie Madness box, and I'll be back next week with another review. Thanks for watching.